Are you thinking about moving to Knoxville, Tennessee, but you need a little bit more information? In today's video, Christian and I are going to dive deep into why are we seeing price drops all around Knoxville's market. Are the opportunities as good as they seem, or is there more to the story? Stick around till the end because Christian and I are going to give you an insider tip on how to navigate this market and how to spot the best deals. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time in the channel, subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first one to know about the current market in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm Hilmar.
And I'm Christian with Castillo Realty, and we help people just like you every single day. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, please feel free to reach out to us as our information is in the description box below. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, let's dive into this, Christian. You might have seen the headlines of price reductions all across Knoxville, and you're wondering what happened. So let's talk about why is this happening first. We all know between 2020 and 2021, there was a tremendous amount of homes in demand, not enough homes, fueled by low interest rates. What happened there? Everything skyrocketed, and that is where we are today. Nothing is wrong. The market is not crashing. The sky is not falling. The market just stabilized, and we're seeing those price reductions as sellers trying to meet the market where it's at today. But that doesn't mean that Knoxville is losing its value. It's actually far from it.
Right, Hilmar, and don't forget that we actually go in depth talking about this in another video of ours. Please make sure to check this one out right here and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video in the future.
And tap the bell for notifications.
Knoxville remains highly sought after because you got to remember that we have low taxes, we have outdoor activities, and our overall quality of life is just significantly better than most other places. So no, Knoxville isn't losing its value, it's still actually quite sought after. However, the shift in buyer behavior does mean that there is more competition for your purchase, right? And you have much more buying power than you did in a previous, I'd say, 2 to 3 years?
So where are we seeing the price reductions? Well, really across Knoxville, we're seeing price reductions, and we're seeing the biggest price reductions in neighborhoods were overpriced to begin with. And that even goes for new construction. I did my rounds in the MLS before this video so I can educate myself on what I'm going to tell you. And I saw about 3 new construction developments that having price reductions. Only 3. So if we think we have so many homes here in the Knoxville area and new construction, 3, it's not much. But a lot of neighborhoods were really overpriced, and we're seeing that in the 600s price range.
Yeah, they're more so correcting themselves, right, than they are necessarily crashing, because you have to think truly that, you know, a house that was worth $500,000 that is now worth $750,000 can't necessarily keep continuing in that way, right? It has to correct itself at some point.
It's not sustainable.
Right. And it looks like the Knoxville market is necessarily doing that. And personally, I think that's great. I think we need to come back down to a much more level-headed environment where we can have more negotiation power for buyers and sellers aren't getting the upper hand 100% of the time. Don't get me wrong, we love sellers just as much as we love buyers, but again, I think the market needs to stabilize to create a healthy environment for everybody involved in the purchase. Not every house price is dropping. It's just, I think, those significantly inflated prices, right? Because houses between $350,000 to $500,000 aren't really necessarily shifting in price. They're still equally as competitive. And they're still selling quite quickly. These neighborhoods often feature great schools, quite a good bit of amenities, and a great sense of community.
And for example, homes in certain neighborhoods offer bonus rooms or finished basements, master on main. Those are still very competitive and get a lot of offers. And to give you a little bit of data, on the MLS today, there were 1,045 homes that have reductions. Out of those 1,045, 724 have been on market for over 30 days. 550 have been on market for over 60 days. And over 90 days, 366 homes. So if you think about, we have over 6,000 homes on market. It's really, really low, but we're still seeing that because of what I already said. Sellers are trying to adjust to this, and before it was free for all.
Sure. Everybody was just throwing some numbers. Yeah, grab a dartboard. That's the price we're putting it at.
Throw your price, you'll get it, and you'll get it with 20,
multiple offers.
30,
Multiple
50K
offers.
more. So
Right.
that's not anymore, but it's still a very, very small amount of homes that have been reduced here in Knoxville.
What does this mean for buyers? This means that you have more negotiating power and you have much more availability to adjust to the environment. And you might be able to find a deal that you weren't able to find a year ago if you're able to stay patient and negotiate throughout the entirety of the deal. And seriously, leave all of that negotiating to us, because we're the experts that will help you find the best value for your home.
Now, I want to mention something, Christian, and this is very important. Not every single reduction means a bargain. Because remember what I just mentioned, sellers are also adjusting to the market. So they start here and they know that they should be here, but they still want to try.
Right.
So maybe this reduction is not what you really need. This reduction is not what you really need. And when you get to here, I will think that you still got some room for negotiation. So there it is. And again, like Christian mentioned, we have the ability and the expertise to look through those reductions. So if you find something like that, talk to us and we'll tell you if this is really a bargain or just a price reduction that really needed to happen. So if you are looking for those price reductions, another tip is to look for the ones that have several price reductions but are still on the market. Those sellers are at that point more willing to negotiate, help you with closing costs, and get to accept some created offers, right? And not only that, but then throughout the contract, you might be able to negotiate some of the repairs before you actually purchase or close the deal on your home.
And Hilmar, here's another tip. As somebody who came from the lending side of things, I kind of have an insight on some of the things that a lot of people don't. Sometimes price reductions aren't actually the best option to go as far as bang for your buck. What do I mean by that? I mean that actually asking your closer for closing costs and keeping their price at full will actually help you out in the long run, because not only are you able to pay your realtor now, you're also able to maybe get a buy down on your rate, okay, or even buy a lower rate. And there's a difference between a rate buy down and buying a lower rate. We can tell you about that in a different video some other time. But
if you want to hear about that in depth, comment below.
Yeah, comment below, because again, I have quite a bit of information to give on that, so I want to know if you want to hear about it. I really don't think that the price reduction is always the best option as far as bang for your buck. Maybe ask for some closing costs rather than reducing the price. All right, and here's another great strategy for you. Maybe expand your search out just a little bit, because you might miss where there's another neighborhood that's lowering the price significantly more than neighborhood A, right? Neighborhood B is lowering it way more than neighborhood A. So being more flexible with your location might save you quite a bit of money.
And the tip right there also is, like you're saying, expand your search, because sometimes people come and tell me, I want to live in this particular zip code, and then they don't want to look anything else. But hey, 2 blocks from the line of the zip code is a wonderful home that, because it is in another zip code, it might be a little bit cheaper and still have, say, the same school zone than that particular zip code, because it's so close. So just those, work it out with a professional, and you'll be guided in getting into your new home pretty soon.
And honestly, sometimes the taxes are even cheaper. I've seen this before, where right across the street, the taxes are like $100 to $200 less because they crossed a county line versus a city line. And it's the exact same neighborhood, exact same house, exact same build, Their taxes are just cheaper because they're in a different zip code. So don't get too stuck on one zip code.
Now, my tip, if you are a seller, please price your home correctly from the beginning. Again, talk to experts like us to do your strategy. Overpricing only leads to frustration. And it's frustrating for you because the home is not selling. It's a frustration for us, the professional, because we know it is overpriced and it's not gonna sell. And no matter the efforts that we do to market your property, it's not gonna sell. So just price it correctly from beginning and you'll have a wonderful experience and a successful sale.
We've helped countless sellers navigate the shifting market. And the ones who listen to our strategies are the ones who sell the quickest and for the most money. For instance, we just had a listing that sold for $10,000 over asking. That's the kind of thing that we do, and it just takes the right kind of pricing at the beginning, because the first 2 weeks of selling your home are the most important to get it sold for the most and as quickly as possible.
And I want to show you a graph on how you should be looking at the price in your property and how it affects within the days. And one last tip for sellers: make sure that your home looks awesome from day one, because first impressions are everything. Buyers are going to judge your home 10 seconds after arriving to the main door.
Honestly, it really doesn't take more than opening the door.
So when you work with professionals like us, we invest in professional photography, video, and a whole marketing strategy that is gonna work to sell your home and get you the most in the less time. So make sure that it's perfect. Do the repairs before going to market, please. I see it many times where the sellers just put the home on the market and then hope that those repairs will not come. And that sometimes kills the sale and we go back to square one.
Well, and sometimes it can kill financing too. Sometimes it's not just the seller that gets, hit by those repairs. Sometimes it's financing that will come through, and the appraiser and the lender will say, hey, you know what? We can't sell you this house. We can't give you financing on this house unless X, Y, and Z gets repaired, right? So sometimes it's not something that just affects the seller on that one. And here's the tip for the sellers, right? Be flexible, right? Because there are buyers who are gonna come and ask for concessions or closing costs or things like that, and truly accepting that might be the difference between selling your home or letting it sit.
And we are down to the very last tip. As we promised at the beginning of the video that you were gonna get some tips, we did, but I think this is saving the best for last. And it is look for expireds that have been relisted. Those sellers struggle to make the sale happen the very first time. So they're in the second round, they are more willing to negotiate than they did in the previous sale. So look for expireds that have been relisted. We can help you with that, so reach out.
And look, don't ever be afraid of expired listings, because it doesn't mean there's something wrong with the house, right? That just means that it could have been initially presented at a wrong price. It means it could have sat on the market for too long. It means that maybe other people weren't necessarily interested in purchasing the house at that time. Truly, do not be afraid of an expired listing, because that does not mean that the house is messed up. It could still be just as good as any other house.
Christian, you're so right about that. I'm glad you pointed that out.
If you're looking to buy or sell in Knoxville, Tennessee, please reach out to us. We are experts in our field, and we'd love to help you make a smooth move to Knoxville, Tennessee.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss a bit, and share it with somebody that you know that might benefit from this information. Thank you for watching. See you next time. If this is your first time.